AC. Happy birthday. Well, member for Thornhill Hill.
When the diversity minister was confronted with his department's funding of a notorious anti-Semite, Laith Maruth, he swore that it was a mistake and that it would never happen again, even though he covered it up for a month. Now we know the minister's sincerest promise was nothing more than lip service to this House, to his caucus, and to Canadians. Yesterday we found out that there's more funding from the Department of Heritage. Nearly $30,000 were given to 2 news outlets that call for the elimination of Israel and that perpetuate the dangerous hate against Jews. This is freely available on the internet. Either nobody bothered to check, or more likely, nobody cared. These aren't unfortunate mistakes. They're not even incompetence. They're repeated actions by a government that's coming dangerously close to complicity with the worst anti-Semitism by spending Canadian tax dollars to proliferate it. We have a problem in this country. Canadians deserve to know about it. Conservatives here are here to stop it, and more members of the Liberal caucus need to stand up to it.
The honourable member for Mount Royal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am rising to mark the accomplishment of my constituent Morris Goodman, who has received his welcome into the Order of Canada. Morris is being recognized for his incredible achievements in business throughout his career, as well as his dedication to transformative philanthropy. Morris has been a pioneer of the Canadian generic pharmaceutical business for decades, including co-founding Canada's largest pharmaceutical company, PharmaScience, nearly 40 years ago. While his work in the business space has been remarkable, his dedication to giving back is also noteworthy. Charitable works are incredibly important to Morris, and through the Morris and Rosalind Goodman Foundation, he has made a significant difference in his home community in Montreal and helping countless others throughout the world. It is no surprise, then, that his positive impact to Canada is being recognized today. Morris and his wife Lillian Weinberg are pillars in my community, and I want to congratulate them both on this incredible achievement.
Oral questions, question orale. The honourable member for Calgary, Forest Lawn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we learn if this Liberal government truly cares about Canadians. The fall economic statement is the last chance to stop tax increases and out-of-control inflationary spending. Canadians are paying more in taxes today than ever before, and Liberal inflation has raised prices for gas, groceries, and home heating to record highs. This Liberal inflation tax is levied off the growling stomachs of Canadians. Will the Prime Minister stop his inflationary spending to finally stop his inflationary tax?
The Honourable Minister of Tourism.
Mr. Speaker, I'm glad that my colleague opposite is interested in the fall economic statement, and we will learn what is in that plan in just 2 short hours, Mr. Speaker, but rest assured that he can rely on this Liberal government to do what is right, which is to support Canadians with dental and rental supports, with doubling the GST tax credit, with making sure that childcare benefits are in place, and making sure that we have the backs of Canadians when they need it the most. They don't have a plan. We do. That's what Canadians have asked us to do.
The honourable member for Calgary, Forest Lawn.
It's clear to see from that answer that this government's greed knows no bounds. Their solution to every problem is to make Canadians pay even more. Liberal inflation led to higher interest rates. A single mom who works as a youth worker reached out, saying her viable mortgage payments just went up another $500 because of the Liberal inflation tax. She's barely hanging on. Canadians are hurting and cannot afford more spending and higher taxes. Will the Liberals just stop spending?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the member opposite is asking us to do more on taxes. And guess what, Mr. Speaker? We've reduced taxes on Canadians 5 times. And how many times have the Conservatives voted against those measures, Mr. Speaker? Every single time. On this side of the House, we're supporting Canadians. They're voting against Canadians. And we'll see today, Mr. Speaker, just how much of a plan we have to support Canadians and grow the economy.
Honourable member for Calgary, Forest Lawn.
Only Liberals would think that they can fight their own inflation with even more inflation. 53% of Canadians say they are concerned about making mortgage payments when it comes time to renew. Over a third of them are already planning to cut back on spending and food. That comes at a time when grocery prices are too high and Canadians can't afford their home heating bills anymore. Will the Liberals stop the spending spree, stop the record taxes, and should Canadians just prepare for a long, cold, hungry winter instead?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have a plan to support Canadians. It is a plan that started in 2015. It has been bolstered by our affordability plan this spring, bolstered again by the work that we've been doing recently. The other side has a plan, Mr. Speaker, and it's typical conservative austerity, cutting employment insurance benefits, cutting the Canadian pension plan, cutting childcare benefits, cutting climate action track. Mr. Speaker, they want to cut, we want to support. That's our job.
The Honourable Member for Charlebourg-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, the Bank of Canada aims to keep inflation at 2%, the Consumer Price Index. Although the bank has failed to do so, the Prime Minister is in no hurry to see inflation return to its normal level, as this would reduce his government's revenues. This explains the reason for which he continues his inflationary spending and seeks to raise taxes. Canadians are suffering because the Prime Minister is taking advantage of the inflation he has created to make more money. Today, will he commit to not raise taxes on Canadians and to reduce the waste of public funds?